Hello. Uh, this is the artifact review for Team 12, covering Sprint 9 and 10. Um, let's begin. Logging in first, email sent over. Click it, new email, or new tab opens with the dashboard. It has the user saved, but nothing really affects visually. Um, I think pages that have been affected so far, I believe, are user page, um, setup page, printer page, and template default page in the capstone pages. These other ones are still just examples that have been made, and template chooser is going to be removed at some point down the line, depending on sponsor. Will get back to us with that feedback. Um, to begin with user, I believe buttons were moved around a bit, just a small visual change in some things. Um, edit, you could edit these things. I believe that was covered last artifact, but just an overview of what things are, how they look. Printer, uh, printer, these buttons, toggle have been there. You click on printer, you open up a details page, shows the details of what the printer is, what it has, um, materials, delete button, press that. I'll confirm if you want to delete that printer. You can say yes or no. Saying yes to delete the printer, so now there's only two. To hit 10, no longer one. Um, Click out. There you go. Statuses, pending, dates, all those things. Adding printer modal. You have a name. Just re-add printer one. Lowercase p. Uh, Length 11, width 11, plastic. Add printer. New printer was added. Printer one. Um, Probably change it. Yeah. So that's been there. So you add a new printer with a name attached to it. Probably change in the future to stop it from adding printer after the name. Before the name, I mean. Next is setup. Setup changes primarily is it's more focused on a edit type feature. So you have your color hex. You could actually do the color hex colors here. It'll change it via the web page. What materials will be available for the shop to show here. Um, Files chosen for the images in the shop. The body text for the website. We met with our sponsor and he wanted us to have a page sort of dedicated to the settings, and we had the idea of having a finite amount of materials available for shop owners to display on the web page. So they click those and it should display it later on down the line by communicating via the database, which we are working on in Sprint 10. And you can save and it'll give you a little toast that says, oh, things have been saved. Go on with your day. And then if you click this button, you should be able to go to the shop template, the default, reset button, color chooser, all these things, company, like that. It is a little slow, I believe. It seems like it loads really slowly. Um, but as you can see, the banner has been changed. A materials section was added. 3D file info section, I believe, was added and then removed per sponsor instruction. Um, Contact section is added at the bottom where they could put their contact information in. Services section, I believe, was added, then removed via sponsor feedback. Uh, quote request section was added, and then I believe that was also removed via sponsored feedback. Or there is a quote section that was removed from the visualness of the overall website, but they added a modal variation to it. So it's more of a modal than being a section on the web page itself. Um, an overall review section, feedback from customers is here. Um, Request modal was here. So this is the request modal they had. The request section was removed uh, by sponsor feedback. He didn't want it. Um, yeah, a lot of these changes from Sprint 9 were just replacement, visual changes, transition to Sprint 10, so where sponsor feedback came in, removing sections that were unneeded from the template, adding to the setup page, all these things. But we do have unfinished tasks for Sprint 10. We are trying to figure out and work on the backend API of the code to communicate with the front end here so that any information given through the front end could be saved on the back end and then later on retrieved from the back end to display to the front. Um, that is taking us longer than we had anticipated, and the workload was larger than we had thought. Um, but a couple of things that we are working on today. We have members working on tasks today that will be probably not finished either till tonight, close to the due date of this artifact, or tomorrow. Um, Something personal that I have been working on is a actually password authentication. I made it to where it's passwordless and you log in, but it just redirects you to the web page. It had already logs you in once you log in via the login. But we don't really need that and we don't really want that. So we want it to be um, actually authentic login. So if you bear with me just to show off this quick thing I don't have it done yet because it's very rough looking, but I do have it. It is a visual change in a way. So I would briefly show it to you. Um, the changes that I had implemented, not but not yet submitted. It took me a little while to get here. Oops. Yeah. So these ones in the code section, we just put all the data we don't want shown to the people on the code into the environments file. But for the visual changes and the other changes when you log in, uh, you log in, email will be sent, but you wouldn't be able to get in. So if I went here, it says I must be signed in. So I'm not signed in yet. So it's different from how it was before, where you would just put the email in and you were already automatically signed in. Now when it sends a token to your email, this will go to this verify link. But there is a bit of a kink to it. It displays this from the protected routes. It always display this to check if whatever route you went to, that you are signed in or not. I need to figure out how to fix this. But once you hit OK, it says you already signed in. You redirect yourself to the default, and you're signed in. Um, so you're in. It just kind of functions as normal. Just had the little few things that are different. So here, that, that. But that is another thing that I have been working on to show off for this sprint, despite it still being in progress and being achieving the original task goal, but not really being smooth with how it works out. So I will still be in progress for the meantime. Um, that is it for the Sprint 9, Sprint 10, I believe. Everything, majority, it was the front end, was the UI changes, setup changes, all these things. Uh, but that's it. For Sprint 10, we were working on the back end, so there will be probably less front end artifacts to show off um, till then. But we are working on back end, and nothing else has been done so far. So, thank you.